Saying yes to everyone is no to your own value.
What is up? Welcome back to Together We Are Stronger. Leadership straight, no chasers. And
Yes.
It's very interesting how you start putting things together and then you start looking and you're like, why is there overlap here and there and everywhere? And it kind of goes in regards to how you think you're for everyone, but if you go that route and you try to be for everyone, you're for no one. And one of those things is if you're starting a business, a lot of times when we get into business, we're like, oh yeah, I'm going to serve everyone. And then you have no clarity, you have no focus on what you're trying to do, and then you become for nobody. And so as a leader, you've got to set boundaries when it comes to those that you are around. And it goes back to the last episode of Building Out Your Tribe, where not everybody is going to be meant to be part of your tribe. But if you don't have those boundaries, you don't have the clarity because of the focus that you have, you're going to bring everyone into your tribe and you're going to be all over the place. And then that drive and focus for the bigger picture is not going to be there anymore. And so It is the fact that you're not for everyone, and quit acting like you are, because you're doing no good for anybody. And so, George, I know we were joking a little bit about the things coming together and we're all over the place because we try to plan. And I think it's a little bit of that, though, too. Like, if you try to be for everyone, you miss out, and then you're lost, and you're like, oh my goodness, I don't even know what to do now.
It's so funny. I mean, listen, what we're talking about tonight, our internet is buffering or stuttering. But again, we're moving forward, and it's so easy to, hey, listen, throw it out the window, let's try tomorrow. But with everything that's going on and what we're doing, it means a lot to us to share with you what it means really not being for everyone and what it can cause. On my own experience, Scott, going to networking events, talking insurance and doing the marketing and all that. I went to 24 events in 1 month. And one day I saw my buddy Chris 5 times. So it really gets kind of watered down at the end of the day what you do, right?
If you think about it, you did 24 networking events in 1 month.
Yes.
How efficient and effective was that in regards to trying to get to that bigger picture, whatever you were trying to put together? And when it comes to the relationships, how deep were those relationships, or were we dealing with a lot of surface level stuff?
Surface level stuff. I tell you, I never did it again. After I evaluated, after the month has passed, and I evaluated what I went through and how many people I talked to and pass out cards, talk, this and that, it really didn't do anything. And what happens is that people hear you, and next year you go to another event, you see them, you do it again, and you just kind of weigh yourself out. You really become an empty cup, and it really didn't help me any. It really didn't. Seriously, going out and seeing everyone, I love talking to people on a personal level that I have no fear talking to everyone. But when you go to an event and you go to 5 events in one day and you're just looking to build a relationship with people and have that sincere relationship and say, what, I'll use the example, Scott. I know have that peer partner effect in a sense that you can count on people, and again, you're not for everyone, because what happens when you try to, are you diluting your message or your mission, right?
Yeah.
And meet everybody.
I think it's a unique aspect because you'll have people that are multifaceted, multi-skilled, but the issue with that is when you try to be 10,000 different things and you're like, oh, I can help you with this, I can help you with this, that becomes like you're trying to be for everyone. And so at the end of the day, you're doing no service to anybody. You're actually degrading what you're able to do because the focus is so spread thin that it's not going to be effective. And so the interesting thing when you look at the world of podcasting using social media, using video, short form video content, that these platforms allows you actually to have the opportunity to grow a stronger tribe and have deeper relationships with people than the normal networking piece that you see a
Yeah.
lot of business owners decide, hey, I need to go do this because that's like what everybody says you should be doing.
Yes.
But the aspect is you're limited. Like we can look at some of the short form videos that you've done before, and I think you've had a couple that have had 800 views on them. You
Yeah.
don't know how long those views were on there, but think about that. What type of room can you be in that are you're going to be in front of 800 people, 800 set of eyeballs? Networking really is hard to get to that level. I think probably
Oh,
the most you'll see in some of these groups is 60 people. So if
wow.
you think about it, your video had 12 times more
Hmm.
eyeballs and ears to hear than the standard networking piece, which gets played out. And then you don't have the opportunity to go deeper and build a deeper relationship with people because a lot of individuals are not focused on those deeper relationships. They're trying to, it's like Pokemon. Let me go, I got to catch them all. So that way I can become the go to person. And if somebody needs somebody, hey, here you go. I've got 151 of them. But I would much rather be in the boat where I have 10 close individuals and I have that deep relationship and I know and trust that when they go work with somebody else, that reception of the service is going to be much, much deeper than, hey, I've got 150 connects in one industry. Who do you need? That's not going to help, and it's going to be a lot less effective. For me, when I think about it, it's going to be a lot less effective. Other people may disagree with me, which is okay. But ultimately, that's part of what we're doing here is sharing light and a different perspective. And hopefully you find something that can help you go to that next level that you haven't thought of before because you're hearing recycled information and talks from other individuals.
Yeah. You seem like you repeat yourself over
Mm.
and over again. And, not just the wear and tear and coming home at 10 o'clock at night and like, okay, you step back and you hope you did a great job explaining everything to everyone. You're straight up, you're empowering, you're helping, you're impacting. But you're right. When I do coffee and content, I hit more views than I met more people in one day because they're
Mm.
the same people, right? And the problem with that is that you lose something about yourself. You're talking to all these people, and what happens is just George
Mm.
does insurance and he does this, and you just wear yourself out of it, and you get to a point that you lose what you're trying to do. You lose yourself, and you don't
Mm.
have any value to bring because to me, building a relationship in business is number one to me. Is
Mm.
building that relationship, is building that trust, and how you can help each other grow, see your businesses grow, and be there. And like I said in another episode, build a tribe. But when you're trying to wear yourself out, are you sacrificing? And what I sacrifice is my uniqueness about what I do and how I did it. And after a while, everyone just like, oh yeah, George does insurance. And you get to a point you don't even get to talk to people. I heard you do insurance, and you really don't get to explain and show the value what you bring. Listen, it's about taking care of people. It's
Yeah.
not about, hey, this is what I do. Everyone has someone that does something. But what I try to bring is something that had value, quality, follow through, and listen to whatever you needed to be done. And going to these network events, it was a waste. And I say that from my opinion. To me,
Yeah.
24 times, I never do it again. I rather do, you know, do content and reach out to more people. And
Mm.
it's great because you get to have fun, and saying that, saying yes to everyone is no to your own value. You're just sitting there and this is what I do. I'm excited. My name is George. It's the same routine over and over again. And you lose yourself in what you do.
Well, I think the other thing to be mindful about, though, is the power of relationship capital.
Yes.
And by having that smaller, close knit tribe, that
Yes.
relationship capital is so much deeper than the surface level stuff that you get a lot of times from going to these bigger networking groups. And so that is one thing that when it comes to success to go deeper levels, relationship capital is part of that formula, but a lot of people don't understand the power of that, and
Yes.
then they overlook the aspect of, by having deeper relationship capital with individuals, they have either resources that you might not have available to you right
Yes.
now, or they have individuals that they know, and because you have a deeper relationship, they're going to be more willing to connect you with those individuals. If you didn't have that deeper relationship capital, you miss out on those big connection pieces
Yes.
that ultimately is going to drive you and get you to that next level. And so I think that's another thing that a lot of people overlook is the power of having deeper relationship capital, because you are being mindful of you can't be for everyone.
Yeah.
And it also is opening up on who you have that you're welcoming and having become part of that tribe that you're building out.
Man, you hit it on the nose again. And missing out building a deeper relationship with people who actually need what you bring. See, when
Hmm.
you are talking to everybody and you don't spend time with anybody and you don't build that relationship and show value, you miss opportunities. And I miss opportunities because I'm trying to talk to everyone, passing out cards and all that. You lose yourself. You lose that value that you bring to the table. That's why you always got to check yourself and not spread yourself thin, and make sure who you're talking to is getting the best out of you. And so what you bring, that value, and building that relationship.
Well, that also comes into play of understanding your value and worth and not trying to chase, and also not judging yourself or others. And that also plays into this of knowing what you bring to the relationship, to the table, and trusting that
Yeah.
process, and then letting others judge and figure it out for themselves. But I think you also have that aspect where people decide to try to chase everyone
Yeah.
because the fact that they diminish their value and worth that they can bring. And so that also is a huge impacting piece in regards to those relationships that you're building with others. And it's a tough thing because that is an internal game that you have to play, and this is on you to get through this and really know what it is that you bring, the value that you have, and not doing the judging for others.
Yeah, like you said, serving everyone equally is completely impossible. It is
Mm-hmm.
impossible to do. But serving the right people, focus creates the real impact of helping people out. And I lost that because it's just, I'm constantly, man, it was like Monday through Friday, Scott, I was going and I was never making an impact. And my value was out the door. I was just going to go in a sense,
Mm-hmm.
right? Hey, I showed up. I was hoping to build relationships, and that's what kept me going. And to really share what I really truly do to help people out and show the value that I bring, in a sense, to take care of everyone or take care of individuals, not everyone,
Mm-hmm.
but take care of individuals, and you just get lost. And that to me was that's huge. By the end of the week, I was worn out.
Well, I think the thing that you have to kind of think on, though, too, because you said you felt lost, but it also goes back to that clarity piece. And with
Mm-hmm.
the lack of clarity, that lack of the filter system, that also is where you're just chasing every shiny object and and that's where you start thinking that every opportunity is the next opportunity. But at the end of the day, without the clarity, without the filtering piece, that's where you get into that situation of how you were feeling and you were lost. You had that burnout taking place because the clarity wasn't there for you to get and focus on what you were trying to accomplish. So I think a little bit of that plays into it. But I have to
Yeah.
commend just everything that you've done and where you're at now and where we're at with this. A lot of growth has taken place. And so that's also where, as we're having these episodes, we're giving behind the scenes stuff to individuals, showing that, hey, things don't always work out, things aren't perfect, but there is the difference of perspectives, different things of how we see things, that when we look at the larger landscape of leadership, you don't hear a lot of this. A lot of it is regurgitated bullshit that's getting people in trouble.
Yeah, and let me just add to your clarity piece. Having clarity is who you are, right? It helps protect your time, your energy, and your resources. Is when you have clarity. And at that time, Scott, I didn't have any clarity. I was just trying to meet everyone, introduce myself, talk to everybody, and it was a waste of. I met really good people. Let me just say that. I have great relationships with people, but you got to value your time. And I didn't at that time. I wanted to go out there and crush it and get and meet everybody and pass out my cards. And what it did, it worn me out. And it really created a way that I had an empty cup. I had to try to, work on refilling it every day. I have full energy, be excited to go. And it was a lot of work. And serving everyone is a joke. Serve the people around you who care about you, who really sit down and have these deep conversations. And I have some of those people in my tribe or in my community. And it's important because at the end of the day, you want to walk away and say, if someone asks you, how was your day? It was great. Man, met some really good people, got some great information, look forward sitting down with these. And there was times I get up in the morning, I text 19 people who I met at a small event, and not one text back, but they read it. And it just, what did I do wrong? And I really would look at myself and like, okay, I brought the value, I brought the energy, I was just myself. And to have people not text back was pretty deflating in a sense for me. And you have to reevaluate yourself because you see them again, and I'll be calling people out and say, hey, you read it. It takes 30 seconds to say, hey, it was great meeting you. And you want to know that, you're out there talking and you're being there for people and you're sharing what you do and the value, who you are. It's a lesson I learned. Would I do it over again? Yes, differently. Definitely differently, but I would definitely do it over again in the sense of what I know now and what I did know back then. It'll make a huge adjustment. And that's why we created Together We Are Stronger. Leadership Straight No Chaser is because we want to be real. And sometimes it's not perfect, but I want to be real with people. And there's a lot of people out there that do what I do. And I have talked to. And people ask me, George, how do you keep going? I just do. When you're an entrepreneur, you don't give up. You always move forward. You're hoping that you meet someone that's looking for you. And I'm always looking for people how I can help. There's people out there looking for you. And I think that's what's so strong about a podcast is that we'll mess up and all these things. And I'm not always used to being on camera, and we always talk and I'll say things wrong, whatever. But I'm true to myself. What I say is I want people to understand that. When you're out there in business, it's tough. Sending someone out there not knowing what they do is putting gasoline on them. And I want you guys to understand when you are talking to people about your business and you're sharing now who you are, just remember the value that you bring is huge. Now, again, it's not for everybody. It isn't. It is not for everybody. But the ones who are sitting there with you and they like want to meet you for coffee or lunch and keep the relationship going because you don't see them all the time, those are the kind of people you want to be around with. Right? Because they know what you bring. And bringing that, again, building that tribe, bringing in business is called peer partners, bringing people in that you can count on no matter what. And that to me is huge. And having value in yourself and how you present yourself is huge.
Yeah, no, it's a very interesting thing, a different way to really look at it, which it takes time and it does push you out of your comfort zone. Yes. So we appreciate everyone coming along on this journey. But if there was a point in this episode, something that really resonated with you that somebody else could benefit, and it could be something that they're struggling with, trying to figure out, hey, how do I get to that next step? What is that missing piece that I'm missing out on? Share this episode with them, because ultimately together we are stronger, but it does come down that as a tribe, we are working with each other, helping each other out. And if there's something that you're coming across that could benefit, then we're looking to have that growth aspect, the expansion piece, really to make an impact in the lives of others. So other than that, appreciate it. We'll catch you on the next episode.
Yeah.